Good afternoon. World War III is over. Now, there may be a little fighting still going on, but it's not going to change the outcome. And the outcome is simple. The United States and NATO lost. Russia defeated Ukraine, and that was a proxy war in which NATO and the United States were all involved. The minute the United States pulled out, that meant NATO and the United States lost. Why? Because the United States uses sanctions to control people. United States always wanted to be the #1 superpower. So the United States only allowed Europe, NATO, to get so strong, to become so strong. Why? Because the United States wanted to be the #1 superpower, controlled everything. So they told NATO, don't worry about Russia or anybody attacking you, because I'm going to come to the rescue. And Europe said, well, if they're going to come to the rescue, then we don't have to spend our gross national profit, gross national product on what? On defense spending. We'll just let the United States carry the burden. And and all we have to do is go along. That was mental laziness on the part of NATO members. By NATO staying divided and weak, it allowed the United States to control them, to control Europe. So when the United States left Ukraine, it was game, set, and match. I mean, you look at NATO's military is garbage. They're totally dependent on the United States. Now, the ending of the war came, for sure, it came this week. Well, really, a couple weeks before this. You see, when the United States left Israel, that was a sign of surrender. That was surrender. The United States military is technologically behind. It's behind. Iran military is more advanced. And they were prepared for a drone war. But I told you all over at least a year and a half ago that Israel could not win with the United States support because the United States has 800 bases around the world. And you cannot protect 800 bases around the world. That is a weakness. Now, let me show you something else. Now, I'm going to need you to bear with me. Now, this, of course, is a globe, which some of you haven't seen since high school. This little green dot, which you probably can't see, is Israel. This is Israel. This little green dot is Israel. Now, this large area here is Iran. Have you noticed the size difference? Now, the reason I point this out is because how many bombs or drones would it take to destroy a country a nation as small as Israel? Look at the size. And then ask yourself, how many drones and bombs would it take to destroy Iran? Iran is much bigger. Israel is small and very densely populated. Small and very densely populated. So, if you drop 50 drones and bombs on Israel, it will do more damage than if you drop drones and bombs on Iran, because Iran is so much bigger. Iran also has tunnels that are so deep they don't have to worry about being hit by bombs and things of this nature. Their military weaponry is protected. Then you have a larger area to find out where they do have their military armament buried. So therefore, you also have to know that to really win a war, you have to put boots on the ground. Which means that Iran has a larger population and they can put more boots on the ground. But the key to it is that Iran has thousands and thousands of bombs in places underground where they can hide them, where Israel can't get to them. Also, do you think that Muslim nations that have been bullied by the United States is going to allow Iran to be defeated? And the answer to that is of course no. But why? Because Iran already told all the Muslim nations, if you support Israel and the United States, then we're going to take you out too. You see, Iran has been planning this for a long time. Iran is the military power in the Middle East. Whatever Iran says in the Middle East, that goes. And like I said, Israel is small and condensed. It's a small and condensed area. Now understand this. The war can't continue, but it's not going to change the outcome. The United States was in Israel, and supposedly they were going to open up the Red Sea for shipping. The Houthis ran the United States and their aircraft carriers out of there, because the aircraft carrier is nothing but what? It's a big target. In the same way they're dropping drones and missiles in Israel, they can drop drones and missiles on aircraft carriers. But see, Iran was trying to stay out of this. Iran just wanted to be cool and stay out of this. But Trump and Israel attacked Iran. According to Iran, they have proof that the United States was part of this. So now what? And then Trump ran his mouth, talking about we're going to war. See, he could have just stayed back and been cool. Because the reality of the situation, what has Israel done for the United States? How they're saving this piece of land this big on the globe? Is it worth the money? Is it worth the money? What The people of the United States, we want health care. We want free college education. We want those. We want our taxes lowered, not the rich people taxes lowered. How is this going to benefit us? How is this war in Israel over this tiny bit of land going to benefit us? Iran has never attacked us. Iran has never attacked anybody. The only people guilty of colonizing, first of all, genocide, is NATO countries and the United States. The United States was built on genocide. After genocide, the United States came in with slavery. And to get the resources that the United States needed, it helped to colonize Africa. So, you have to understand something. If you don't understand this, you don't understand nothing. Everything that an evil country does, it always blames the country that isn't going to do it of doing it first. They always put the innocent country on a defensive. And if you're playing defense, then you can't play offense. And the United States always accuses others of doing what they have done. Who is the only country in the world that has dropped an atomic bomb? Not just one atomic bomb, two. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They just wanted to see what it was going to do because the war was basically over. What country is a threat to another country? Israel has already been convicted by the ICC and ICJ of genocide. But they're saying Iran is going to commit genocide. But they attacked Iran. They call it preemptive. What the heck is preemptive? That just means I hit you first because I thought you were going to hit me. That's ridiculous. That's just like the police saying I feared for my life after they shoot a man in the back running from him. That don't make no sense. Then they said Russia wanted to take over NATO. All Russia was doing was stopping itself from being surrounded and attacked by the United States. And if the United States can knock out Russia, then the United States can attack China. All this stuff is totally ridiculous. But like I said, the war is over. Only thing the United States can do is have Israel looking like Ukraine. Netanyahu's not going back to Israel. He's done. Not going back there. Those Israelis, they just blew it. Now, the United States would like to move the war to Africa. It ain't happening. Burkina Faso, let me put it to you this way. Iran controls the Middle East. Burkina Faso controls African nations. That is the power in Africa, Burkina Faso, with Mali and with Niger. That's the power. And as countries watch the United States, the defender of NATO, get their butts whooped, they're going to start kicking out more NATO countries. Germany's being kicked out. France is being kicked out. The United States is being kicked out. And guess what? If they kick you, once you get kicked out, ain't no coming back. Once you're kicked out, there is no coming back because you have to reestablish yourself. And while you're trying to get reestablished, they're going to be blowing you away. See, Iraq, that was they knew what Saddam Hussein had. They knew all he had was a few Scud missiles. So they attacked. They knew Libya didn't have no military backup, so they just told a bunch of lies on them and attacked. But now Russia's covered all that. Russia, China, and North Korea were playing chess. They covered all that. They covered the first. South Africa went to the ICC and ICJ, and Israel was found guilty of genocide. So there go the propaganda campaign. Then when it comes to trade, China took over that. China took over the trade with the Belt Initiative and helping third world countries to build up their infrastructure and their trade. And then Russia did the heavy lifting militarily. Russia took on the United States and won game, set, and match. And Russia is supporting Burkina Faso. And Russia told Trump, mess with Iran if you want to. But I'm going to tell you this, China is there already. Putin told as soon as Trump opened his mouth, trying to sell that trying to play the rock, Russia told him, leave him alone. And then China, boom, two big planes full of weapons and everything else needed to support Iran. Going back to what I'm saying, the United States has 800 bases throughout the world. And Iran already said, you attack us, we're going to take those bases out. It ain't but about 1,000 or 2,000 soldiers on them bases. So, hey, if Trump attacks Iran already said we're going to take those bases out. And we know from what's happening in Israel that they can take them out. So the war is over. If the United States want to prolong it, then you're just going to end up with a situation like Ukraine, with a lot of people coming back in body bags. Like, subscribe, talk to you later. But I told you a year and a half ago what was going to be the outcome of this silliness. Talk to you later.